Am I going to ruin the vibes on Friday? I'm a little worried about.
You have already.
It's a solid 6 months.
Where's Hawkins?
I already ruined it. I said a sentence.
Yesterday, he made a whole big thing. And guess what? For football season, I'm here every Friday. What? Thinking that was going to be, like, well-received.
The audience, I think, likes it.
We like ball here on Fridays. Yeah. We don't want – if you say dirty at all this show, I'm going to wring your neck. Oh, wow.
The wringing of the neck.
Well, I already threatened to kill ESPN.
But okay. First of all, wringing of the neck. That is, you're going to hang me. Like, is that the ring?
No, man. What are you?
Choking.
Again,
Like
here you go. It's like Homer Simpson to Bart.
Yeah. Vibe check. How's it going over there, Tony?
Not good.
If you wring someone's neck, so this is the only time. You're like squeezing out a cloth that has water in it. That the wringing of a cloth. That's the verb.
But your neck. But your neck.
So that's what you're going to do to my neck.'re going to grab it like a wet towel, and you're going to squeeze it.
You've not seen what Homer Simpson does to Bart?
Going to be a long season.
Why you little? Until the juices come out of my every orifice.
First question was like, are you going to hang me? No. If I were going to hang you, I'd say I'd hang you.
Need a heavy rope.
You are getting very comfortable with body shaming people. I mean, what you did to Zaslow yesterday, when you're just burying him for the amount that he is eating. Why are you so comfortable with this? I am never comfortable.
That was not Chris.
Yeah,
that was you.
You really got to lay off
was you.
Chris.
No,
it
was not
entirely
me.
you.
It
Stop
was
calling
not
people
me.
Fat Chris. Fat Chris.
It was it was absolutely not me. It was Chris Cody who went right. I said that I could still smell the breakfast off Zaz when he sang in my ear. That's what I said an hour later. That's me starting it, that I could still smell the breakfast coming off of his singing voice that was still sticking to me. That's me starting
We're
it.
not going to get to Micah Parsons.
No.
Today you want to get to that? Billy, I don't have confidence in what Greg Cody's about to try here.
This again. Yeah. What? Go on. Do you think he's going to pull it off?
It's time to put on a suit and roll out the carpet. Crank up the tube and gather near. It's the best time of the year, so keep your dial right here. It's me and you and me again at the Suey's. The greatest of laughs, mistakes, and best revelations. And so much more. Brought to you by the greatest beer. It's the best time of the year, so keep your dial right here. It's me and you and me again at the Suey's. And every day you're gonna go to a website to vote on the sounds that brought you cheer. 'Cause it's the best time of the year, so keep your dial right here. It's me and you, it's me again and it's you. It's me and you and me again at the Suey's. That kind of thing.
Why do we have to run everything into the ground? We can't stop
What do you mean?
short of making the joke something that bothers everybody. Why are you still sitting here?
He's staying there?
I thought you were off today. Wasn't he off today? He was off today.
This is the new Fridays, Dan?
This
I'm
always
cooked.
on. This fits for me.
Dan and Jeremy Friday.
I see this.
out of here.
I've been trying to get to a Marlins story with Jeremy all week. I'm not going to do it the day after Micah Parsons gets traded. Get out of here.
All right. Love you too.
Thank you for coming in on your off day to feed your
best time of the year.
feed your inner theater.
Taché and Le Batard, French Fridays. But for Dan, French Fridays.
And Cote.
That's good. I like
French
that.
fries
not,
are good.
It's not.
It's not as
Maybe
good.
the name, but the product, I don't know.
No, that's the problem. Yes, it's all in a name. You're correct. The product itself would not be good. A handful of things to say about something that you just hardly ever see. That player, Micah Parsons, does not get traded at that age. I know he's not LeBron James, but one of the reasons the LeBron James trade was such a giant story is because that player does not get traded at that age in sports. It's why the Luka thing is such a big story, because nothing you get back in that trade, nothing you ever get back in that trade is going to be as good as what you already have. That thing is so valuable. The pass rush is so valuable, and he's better at it than anybody. Myles Garrett, to my eye, is better, but by the metrics, Micah Parsons is better at getting at the quarterback with pressure than anybody in the league. He's LT-ish in the way that he can get to the quarterback, and you just don't get to say that about anybody. So that player never gets traded. But I believe everybody's sort of missing why this trade was made, as we're talking about Jerry Jones's senility, and we're talking about whether he got along with his agent and a bunch of other things that aren't what I thought this was about. And it's not about Jerry Jones wanting attention. The two biggest reasons this happened, and I don't know which one you guys would choose from among these two reasons, but I believe these are the two biggest reasons. One is the two teams in your division at quarterback are younger and better and are going to be younger and better for the next 10 years. One of them because they have a quarterback who can do it without a lot of help. The other one because he's got so much help around him that they're both going to keep showing that Dak Prescott was drafted where he was for a reason. So that's reason number one. Reason number two is this, and I don't think anybody's talking about this particular thing here. Tony, can you get for me, please, the game logs from last year for the Dallas Cowboys and what they did at home and the point totals they allowed at home when it wasn't Schottenheimer rebuilding, it was Mike McCarthy, we're win now off of 12 wins. At home, give me the point total scores and the result of all the home games Dallas played last year, because I don't know if you guys remember, I don't know what you'd say off the top of your head was the single most stunning result for you last season, but I do remember Saints going into Dallas and putting up 40-something points to beat Dallas was among the largest surprises I saw last year.
That was week 2. That was the home opener for Dallas, and they got beat 44-19 to a Saints team that everybody's like, okay, I guess they're decent, and then the bottom fell out for the Saints. A little bit of context for Dallas this season last year. 8 games with Dak. He got hurt with a hamstring. He was out. Within those home games, they went 2-6. They had a 2-point win and a 7-point win. Those are the only wins they had all season. So, point totals they gave up: 44 to New Orleans, 28 to Baltimore, 47 to Detroit, 34 to Philadelphia. That was the first game without Dak Prescott. Cooper Rush threw for 45 yards total in the entire game. They gave up 34 to Houston. 20 in a win to New York. They gave up 27 to Cincinnati. They gave up 24 in a win to Tampa Bay, and they gave up 23 in a loss to Washington.
And those numbers, when you see what the Dallas defense was doing when Micah was out there, when he wasn't out there, those numbers aren't going to make up what is your architectural gap. Before we get to the meat of this, though, you guys have seen some of the large numbers that are being thrown around on metrics by Bill Barnwell and others, right? I mean, because I can simplify this for you. Bill, I can give you a whole bunch of data that says dig deep on all the advanced metrics and the way these people make measurements, or I can just tell you that Bill Barnwell says that mathematically, when Micah Parsons is on the field, they are, per play, the best defense in the league, and when he's not, they're the worst. Like that, like he can do. That's an obvious oversimplification, but he can do it with the numbers to show you something that's appalling. If Jerry Jones is right now celebrating what has been 30 years of failure for that franchise in a Netflix documentary, and the starting point on that celebration and all of the division between him and Jimmy Johnson is they cannot agree who's responsible for the Herschel Walker trade that brought back the draft picks when they had the genius idea of, we're not good enough, so let's trade our best player because we're not good enough. Because they're just doing the same thing here. They're trading their most valuable asset because the way to close the gap between Philadelphia and Washington in this, a rebuilding year for the Cowboys, is to use those draft picks and try to close the gap. Micah Parsons wasn't going to. This is the way that Micah Parsons helps you most the next 2 seasons if you're the Dallas Cowboys, because they're not actually close.
They were really terrible against the run. They were 29th against the run. And in that division, when you play the Eagles twice and a mobile quarterback in Jaden Daniels twice, Jerry Jones spoke to this. That's why they got Kenny Clark and 2 first-round draft picks. I'm shocked that Jerry Jones made this deal, but also he did pretty well because Kenny Clark does help where they're weakest. And Jerry Jones already said, like, everyone assumes we're going to keep these draft picks. We can use these draft picks to add to our team.
This is Jerry Jones's spin on it. Run defense. You're not stopping Philadelphia from running the ball. With or without Micah Parsons. They run the ball. It's why they're champions. They run it against everybody. It's why Jalen Hurts looks the way he does. You're right, though, that the problems with what it is that I just said for the Cowboys is it's not just that Philadelphia and Washington are better than you, obviously. It's the way they're better. They're younger and more stable at quarterback. They have a future that doesn't have defenses that allow those point totals. Guys, those were the home games. Your defense, 44, 28, 47, 34, 34, 27. I don't care who your quarterback is. That didn't happen to Pittsburgh when they don't get the quarterback playing. Those numbers at home. I understand Micah Parsons didn't play in some of the games, but that's the problem. Like, Dak Prescott can't correct that, nor can run defense, by the way. Like, okay, fine, Micah Parsons, the way that you try to neutralize it is you run right at him instead of trying to pass around him.
And I think a couple of years ago, there was a bit of a mask on the Dallas defense because they created so many turnovers that masked some of the inefficiencies that they were having on corner, safety, and defensive line. That it was like, oh, Dallas' defense is actually really good. And then the bottom fell out again for the last 2 years.
But let me be clear on what we just saw yesterday, because I'm not allowed to act unsurprised by this. We've been talking for weeks about, Jerry likes the noise of this, and then he caves at the end. He always does that. Mike is not going anywhere. In the stunning of what happened yesterday, because Jerry Jones has to correct all of this. One, you just traded away someone that I can absolutely make the argument is the best defensive player you've ever had. I can make that argument now, rest of his career unseen. I can also make this argument. And this is the problem that Jerry Jones has, as he refuses stubbornly and arrogantly to let go of some of the reins on his league, as if his family is special about creating football teams. If I said to you right now, I'm going to give any NFL executive that you ever have thought of, incompetent or otherwise, whoever it is, Urban Meyer, whoever it is, I'm going to give you 30 years in that job. Am I getting more or fewer than 2 playoff wins?
Yeah, that's a good point. I understand it. That being said, I don't think he did poorly here. If he has to give up a generational player.
He did poorly. No, getting Micah Parsons is the hard part. Being so incompetent that you have to trade him because you haven't built well enough around him is the problem.
They didn't have to trade him. They could have paid him. And Micah Parsons' statement was hilarious. I didn't make any demands. Brother, that's how this whole thing started. You made a very strong demand. It wasn't a request.
You have to trade him if everything else I just said is true. you have to trade him because you're not going to make up the gap with him because look at how bad you were with him.
Oh, I'm not going to pretend like I know what is going to happen in that division. Historically, people go from bottom to top a ton.
Oh, but that defense can get better and the Dolphins can get better without making it the right decision. They're not going to win the championship this year. They're in play. The standard there is every year we play for the championship. They may get better. They might. Like, I really think their defense can't be worse. Like, worse than that, you cannot be. So, they get better. They win 10 games. And what? Jaden Daniels is still in your division. Now, maybe Jaden Daniels gets hurt, but the Eagles are still in your division. And what I was beginning to say about the problem that they have is it's not just that it's Philadelphia and Washington in your division. It's the way those teams play and they're built. Like, it's not... They're going to beat you this season, and they're going to beat you next season, whether Micah Parsons is there or not, because I don't trust Dak Prescott to be better than what it is that they have now, both those teams in stability at their quarterback. And you don't either. Like, none of you listening to this, if I just make it, hey, the draft evaluations were right. Skill sets, Jalen Hurts and Jaden Daniels have skill sets that Dak Prescott does not have, made by the measurements that they do at the draft by these scientists, who, if I gave any of them 30 years, would win more than 2 playoff games, assessing talent. Any of them. Mike Tannenbaum, I'll give him 30 years. Hell, Mike Tannenbaum may have won more playoff games than Jerry Jones in the last 30
consecutive years. He made it to AFC championship games. You got to win more than
and is it 2 playoff wins? I don't even know. Is it 1? Like, how many playoff games have them? It might be 1.
I think Romo beat Minnesota one time.
Dak has one.
Did they beat the Lions? Did they beat the Lions in a playoff game? Yeah. Whatever the playoff number is, give me.
You think we'd know them since there were so few?
Who is give me the person, the human being that you were to say is the worst football executive in the history of the league?
Chris Greer.
No. Joe Banner was pretty bad in Cleveland. Just Holmgren was pretty bad in Cleveland. Pretty much everybody's been pretty bad in Cleveland except for Andrew Berry, and then he gave out the worst contract ever.
At Le Batard Show, if I put the worst executive in the history of football in charge for 30 years, would he win more than 2 playoff games? Yes or no?
They have 4 wins since 2009 in the playoffs and 3 since 2014.
Wait a minute, what?
They have 3 wins in the playoffs since 2014. In 2014, they beat the Lions. In 2018, they beat the Seahawks. And in 2022, Dak beat the Bucks.
All in the wild card round.
Yeah, I forgot that Seahawks one.
So they've won 3 playoff games?
I don't think Dak's been there at 14. So Dak, I think, has won 2,
They've
right?
never gotten out of the divisional round.
That's crazy.
They're living off of 30 years ago, and Billy's worried about Jerry Jones, like concerned about him. He came in here concerned for Jerry Jones.
Well, did you see the press conference yesterday of Jerry Jones when he was talking about the trade?
I saw that it was 42 minutes.
Well, Jerry, who likes to get out there in front of everyone to kind of show his face and say this is why we did what we did, was struggling a bit in the press conference where he continuously was calling Micah Michael. Yeah. And then Stephen Jones had to then come in and say it's Micah. And then Jerry Jones later on would just continue to say Michael. Yeah. And then at some point he would correct himself and say Micah. Like, Michael, no, Micah. But there was an issue where, kind of confusing the player a little bit.
He's been calling him Michael for years.
Yeah.
I think he genuinely thinks his name is Michael the way that you think it's Jordan.
At the beginning of the Cowboys documentary, Paul Tagliabue introduced the Dallas Cowboys first-round pick, Mitchell Irvin. Wide receiver out of the University of Miami, Mitchell Irvin.
Some folks are just bad with names.
Yeah. I have a clip of him calling him Michael Parsons.
Ooh, the double of getting the first name wrong and eliminating or adding an S. That happened to me as soon as I got to 50. They gave it to me as a gift on my 50th birthday, those 2 things.
Of all the players that I've ever negotiated with, Michael Parsons is as savvy and knowledgeable and understanding of his financial business relative to football as any player I've ever been around.
Yeah, Michael Parsons. He just traded Michael Parsons.
Michael Parsons.
I'm sure.
Michael Parsons is a kicker, right?
It's a good haul for Michael Parsons.
Michael Parsons is a kicker.
Imagine
Michael
if he was
Parsons.
right and he had someone named Michael Parsons who was just like, like a scout team player or whatever. And, the Packers are like, I don't think Jerry knows what he's doing. He's telling us he's trading us Michael Parsons.
Michael
Two
Parsons.
firsts for Michael Parsons. And all of a sudden they have the introductory press conference like, who the hell is that guy? And he's like, I'm Michael Parsons.
Put it on
Michael Parsons.
Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Is Michael Parsons the name of a kicker? Yes or no?
Michael Parsons.
It's a totally different player. No one fears Michael Parsons. Michael Parsons could put up exactly the same stat line as Micah Parsons and would be lightly regarded.
Michael Parsons.
I've got him working in insurance, Mr. Parsons.
Just generally in insurance?
Yeah,
Like middle management? Like, what is he doing? Or is he selling stuff door to door?
Not happy.
He's not happy.
Whatever it is,
Michael
Danny's not happy about it.
Parsons.
Well, he's not happy. It's not inspiring work that Michael Parsons does when he goes
Like you
into the
drive by
office.
and it's like a State Farm and it says Michael Parsons on the
Michael
door.
Parsons.
The weather for Miami Notre Dame is going to be scary. It's going to be wet and a lot of thunder and lightning is being projected.
That's the forecast. Now, forecasts can change, but I genuinely don't know who that helps. If we're judging off of last year, I mean, it would be easy to say this helps Jeremiah Love, who'd probably run for 300 yards against Miami, but they did reshape their defense, and if the weather is bad, you'd think that means it's a trenches game, and the reputation is Notre Dame always has a good offensive line, but I would say that Miami is actually girthier, bigger, more athletic on the outside, especially on the edge. That defensive line actually plays to a strength of Miami. You would think just by body types, and the offensive line, as we know, is certainly a strength for Miami.
Do you guys like these kinds of games? Because I like the elements to not be involved at all. I don't want snow. I want offense, and I want speed to be unencumbered.
I don't want the rain, even though I could see how it might help Miami, just because I think Miami's true advantage come Sunday night will be that crowd with a holiday the very next morning.
But that will not
being unhinged. And I don't want it thunderstorming on that crowd.
Okay, well, yeah, I do not believe that Miami, the city, in its history, has the level of discomfort required when you go out to stay in that stadium full and loud if it is raining the entire time. Like if you
It is covered now. Like the seats are covered, and that will help a large chunk. I think like close to 85% of the seats will be covered.
A small percentage of the lower level will get wet.
Yeah, but this you want people working up a lather throughout the day, and if the weather is bad, I don't know how crazy people can get. But yeah, it's tough to say. Look, the quarterback hasn't played for Notre Dame. This is hard. We know that they were a good team last year. We know that they have a good secondary. We know that their running back is really good. We know that they added to a wide receiver core that's certainly thought of as better than Miami's. I don't really know where this game will play out if the weather does indeed impact it. I'm just going to stick to my guns and say we're going to rip their freaking heads off.
Wow. Miami Hurricanes or the Miami Sugar Cubes that melt with water? Like, what's going on here? Embrace this weather. Say, you know what? I want this bad weather. I want Notre Dame to come in here and be uncomfortable. It's going to rain so you can't go to the game? That's crazy.
You guys believe that a crowd that I immerse before the game in 2 hours of rain so you cannot tailgate, that is milling about indoors before the game to stay out of the weather, you guys believe that we as a city, just general temperament of the human beings who go to football games around here, you think we have 80,000 strong of noise for a Sunday night game that won't embarrass Miami if the rain is so bad that it makes it so that nobody who's listening to this, inside or outside of Miami, would want to go to a football game? Like, I'm not even, you understand what we're possibly headed toward just because the weather is going to be shitty.
Dan, I don't think you understand this, but you've been on this side, on the glass side, on the high up side too long. You don't think that there's 80,000 strong that are going to go out there? Have you seen Only in Dade where there's a terrible rainstorm and there's people running in the streets, jumping into the water in the streets outside of club space? Have you not seen that, Dan? Imagine that times 80,000 with about 8,000 Miller Lights, okay? Unstoppable force meets immovable object. Bam!
It's 1 Miller Lite
It's not enough per person.
for every 10
I'm
people.
saying 80,000.
Well, responsibly.
Thank you.
No, but that's too
That's
responsible.
not going to get people the excited that you think it's going to
I'm
be.
trying
When
to
it's
just-
one
give
for
it some
every
time.
10
I'm trying to
people.
be nice with the sponsors, guys. Give me a break.
No, but you were
drink
bad.
responsibly is always one of the
You were-
tags.
you
Do
were
not make
not-
jokes about this. It's a cause close to my
Thank you.
heart.
Thank you.
And they are the proud Suey.
I'm not
presenters.
making fun. He was nice with the sponsor.
Thank you.
He was not nice with the math. The math is what
Math gets in the way.
math.
What do you care about the math?
The math
God,
is
Bill
what.
Barnwell's hosting the show. all of a
Exactly
sudden.
right.
What
You
are
talk
we
to your
doing
math
here?
friends. Who cares?
Math, schmath.
All right.
Get an ice cold cooler, put some ice in it, throw some Miller Lights, put some stuff on the grill. Even if it rains, doesn't matter.
I saw today one of the crunchiest things I've ever seen coming into the studio, where I didn't call the authorities, but I did think about calling because I was like, someone's going to get hurt. Where I was driving past the airport, and there was a gentleman whose car was in the lane for like broken down cars, and he was in that lane. And then I saw what I thought was him. He very clearly was on, live, or he was FaceTiming someone or doing something, screaming at the top of his lungs. And he's just showing off where he is, which is like, you're on the 836 with the airport behind you, and there's just standstill traffic. What's this flex, sir? And he's screaming in Spanish, like showing off where he was. And then I think I saw him take a shot and then maybe start smoking a cigar. And I was like, What's going on here, sir? It's like 7:45 in the morning. What are we doing? And then I was like, I think I should tell someone what's going on here. But traffic wasn't moving. Very crazy Friday for that guy so far today.
What he was doing is just Miami, partying in traffic.
Get back in that
You don't
car,
think,
though.
Dan?
Yeah.
Get back in that car and head to Hard Rock Stadium. We're gonna need
Get
you.
there by Sunday responsibly.
That's right. Miami is an event town. I can't speak to what the crowd's going to look like against Bethune, but I can speak with authority on what it's going to look like Sunday.
Oh!
It's going to look like 2017.
Is that a happen to know? Hold on a minute. You can speak with authority. That's a different category. There's a happen to know. I don't know what the category is. What's the hierarchy with you on when you're saying a thing that would be the equivalent of, on my life, I will take away this draft party. On my granddaughter's life, I will take away that draft party.
Did he host the draft party?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it happened.
Okay, great. And Graceland's fine?
She's good.
All right, perfect. Yeah, I know the tickets had been sold for this.
Oh my God, he knows. He happens to know. Come, everyone. Come and listen. Happens to know. He happens to know. Well informed.
I do have an issue with the gates opening. There's the green lot opens up 5 hours before, the regular lots open 4 hours before. However, historically, the athletic department does put in a call occasionally for the really big games and ask for an earlier.
Gotta
gate time.
do early, yeah,
This
gotta
is a
do early.
challenge to Dan Redikovich and the Miami athletic department to really put the pressure on Hard Rock Stadium and let's open those gates over there. I need to be there first thing in the morning. Wow. I need to stumble out of Las Rosas and straight to
there?
Hard Rock Stadium.
How about some of the Hummer just drive through the gate, let everybody in? Who cares?
Exactly
Yeah,
right.
what are
Now
we
you're
talking
getting the right
about?
idea.
Let's not do that.
What is
responsibly.
this? Yeah, drive through the gate responsibly.
I want to get back to Tony's bad math. I can't do it right now because he had a Miami party starting with 1 in 10 people getting a single beer. I
I was
think.
at one tailgate had 8,000 beers. You weren't doing the math the
Okay,
right
that's
way.
fine.
Res is aguardiente.
I'll get back to it. And I will get to the Suey Award in a second as well. But before I do that, Big Mac, it's been a while since we heard from Big Mac, who is handling things in our carport. He is somebody that Chris hasn't done a lot of new imaging, okay? Some of it you just heard, happen to know.
Oh, my God, he knows.
And this is some of his other new imaging. So we're getting Big Mac's thoughts on Notre Dame UM.
Big Mac's take of the day.
I like Miami by a touchdown because they look good and Miami remember the last time they played how nasty the game was.
17?
Yeah, you already know. So you already know.
Big Mac's take of the day.
I do already know.
It's good.
A touchdown, Dan.
Did you ask him about the weather, though? Did he know what the forecast was? Does that change any of the
Again,
analysis?
doesn't matter. You're asking about the forecast. Who cares?
You guys,
I let him paint his product.
Bill Kamal over here worried about the weather.
all right, so you're
Whoa.
You could have gone anyone else.
anyone else.
Don No.
yeah.
What happened there?
Oh, yeah.
No, he didn't. Don
Bob
know.
Soper?
He didn't know. He didn't know when he took out Kamal.
Oh my God, he doesn't know.
Brian Norcross over here.
Now people are going to be Googling Bill Kamal.
No,
I have to Google it. What's
I'm not going
happening?
to lie. I'm curious.
No,
what
it is
happened?
the-
No,
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 it's
no,
the one.
no.
He was a weatherman. You guys are making this something that wasn't meant to be.
It was the one.
What?
No, it was the one name you couldn't choose. The one in the history of South Florida weather, and I think you did it purposely. I think you did know. I think you did happen to know.
Why would I do that on purpose?
Because of you.
No, Billy would be risk averse there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I just Googled it.
No.
That's a company computer.
No, that is.
I
don't-
chat GPT.
No. Before I get to the Suey Awards, Chris, this category here tends to be our best every year. So how are we feeling about this assortment of best mistakes, worst mistakes that we have?
It's where we shine, I'd say, at making mistakes.
Okay. Like
I'm in here, you're in here, Tony's got a doozy, Amin's got a doozy.
All right, let's see what we have here. Let's see what doozy is the worst and the best of the worst best doozies.
The final day of the 2025 Suey Awards is presented by Miller Lite. Cast your vote at lebatardaf.com. Winners will be announced this upcoming Tuesday, September 2nd.
And now, the Suey nominees for Worst Mistake. Chris Cody screws up the name Maury Povich.
You want you to do it?
Don't tell me to double dutch.
Povich must be so confused right now.
Double dutch. Well, I'm trying to double dutch.
I'm gonna take my two.
Marvy Povich?
The Minerva got me.
Marvy Povich.
I'm nervous.
Dan Le Batard thinks a penguin is a fish.
At Le Batard Show, to you, what is a penguin more of, a fish or a bird? I just want to see what comes back.
It's got wings.
No feathers. You got no
move in that
feathers to
water.
put in your cap off a penguin.
What are you talking about?
Very
The
slick
penguin does
body.
have covered in feathers.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
is this
feathers.
a thing?
What's
Do people
happening?
confuse penguins with fish? This is not a thing.
I don't think it's a thing. I think I'm the only one who does it.
They have feathers.
I think of them as sleek. I've never seen a penguin feather away from the penguin.
I have one in my cap.
That's not something that I've seen.
Is an otter a fish?
Yeah, pluck it.
Do you ever watch March of the Penguins? I mean, they're in snow. That's also why there's moisture on them.
I learned a lot during March of the Penguins. Yes.
Did you learn that they were birds?
Philadelphia Mayor Sherelle Parker botches the Eagles chant.
Let me hear you all say E-L-G-L-E-S, Eagles! Let's go, Birds!
Rose tries to name hockey players on the hockey show.
Okay, Ned Gretzky.
Ned Gretzky?
No, not Ned Gretzky.
Gretzky is a player.
Gretzky is a player.
I know it's current players, but
David McDavid.
no.
Mac McDavid.
No, it's Connor McDavid.
Connor McDavid.
Chris Cody tries to say people.
If being mean on the internet was a sport, I'd want to watch it. And if I was going to watch it, I would use Game Time to get tickets to go watch people be mean on the internet.
Watch what?
On the internet?
Must be nice to be perfect.
You were there.
Jonathan Zaslow tries to say neutralized.
They knew Trava was Sabanajad. I don't remember.
That
saying
is
it
how
like
it
that.
happened. That is the word.
That's
that's
that.
not dumb.
That's
that is
not
how
real.
you
Technically,
said
you got the foreign
That
name
is
right.
how you said
You nailed it.
neutralized. Let's hear that again.
They knew Trava was Sabanajad.
Dan Le Batard messes up Larsa Pippen's name.
And this is funny to think about. Maybe we should get Pablo on here because he's been accused by Marcus Jordan and Larsa Pippen. Excuse me.
Carry on. Play on for me.
Greg Cody doesn't know how baseball works.
It's a knee-high fastball. The count is 4-1.
I guess it is Eric Reed.
4-1.
4-1.
Whatever.
You walked him.
Yeah, it's a ball. Ball four.
He put his own spin on
Count
it.
is 4-1.
We got
He's
there.
gallivanting to first base.
Dan Le Batard screws up a Beastie Boys song.
Looking like one of the parents from the Beastie Boys Party for Your Right to Fight. What is it?
Fight for your right to party.
Party. Wow. Nailed it, Dana.
Yeah.
No fine, though.
That is a fine.
The Beastie Boys Party for Your Right to Fight. What is it?
J-Lo, you are a fly girl.
He's the Beastie Boys Party for Your Right to Fight. What is it?
Greg Cody couldn't be more wrong about ampersands in TV show titles.
Law and Order SVU, I think, would be the most famous of the colons. That show's been on for an eternity.
Yeah, and I hate that every time I see it. And there's so many iterations of that colons are all over the universe now. There's never been a TV show with an ampersand.
Oh, no. Law and Order.
Law and Order.
Why would you say that?
I'm sure there's been plenty.
I thought that was the word.
No, it's got an ampersand.
There's a lot of ampersand
Why did you
shows.
say there's never been a show with it?
John Skipper says he knows NBA players while mispronouncing every name on Sporting Class.
If you take the NBA All-Stars and march them in this office one by one, I know who every one of them is. It doesn't matter. Jokic, Doncic, Victor Wembanyama. They're all international players.
It's like an 85%.
You get one name right.
85% pronunciation on that.
Well, I may not have got the pronunciation or the spelling right.
But in the police lineup,
Wembanyama, I got that right.
Wembanyama, get very close.
Very close.
Chris Cody screws up an ad read.
Thanks, Poppy. This stat of the day brought to you by Evan Williams Bourbon, game day's #1 pour. Evan Williams Bourbon, straight Kentucky bourbon. Oh, my God. Evan Williams, Kentucky straight bourbon with Bardstown, Kentucky. Such a good roll.
So well, Chris.
Let's do that again.
His company.
Greg Cody interrupts Diana Rossini.
Diana, I used to be a George Kittle guy until I saw him go at you, and now I'm very confused.
Thank you, Mike Ryan. Yes, I reported yesterday that George Kittle wants to be the highest paid tight end in football, which I think that's fair. I think I get it. I think we all get that, right?
No, I understand. Diana, how
She's
good is
talking. You were being talked to privately there, Greg. She was, and Mike Ryan wasn't talking on air.
All that happened was you cut her off.
That's all that happened in the middle of the answer. You're confused by the show that we're doing.
Wait, so Mike, would you like?
I would love to hear your answer. I'm sorry, Greg.
We all would, actually, except for Greg.
Dan Le Batard screws up Lamar Jackson's name.
Who's under more pressure this weekend, Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson?
Jackson, yeah.
Sorry, what?
Running back. Hey, yo, that's crazy.
Greg Cody has a dog inside of him.
The pill has not been FDA approved, but it is lengthening the lives of pets.
I actually took that pill myself because I got a dog in me.
That dog.
Well, if you
I got
have
that
like
dog in me.
It would have been so good if you nailed it.
So
You have a dog in you?
The and at, very important.
You have a dog inside of you.
Chris Cody tries to name a famous Lou.
I know so many black Louis.
That's true. We didn't have to
Top
Lou
5
Armstrong
list.
is like
Top
the
5
most.
list. There's so many famous.
Who's the most famous Lou? I mean, Louis Armstrong is up there.
Lou Bacharach.
He's up there. I mean, every black mechanic I've ever went to is named Lou.
Farrakhan.
Who's Lou Bacharach?
I'm telling you.
Lou Bacharach.
Maybe.
Down at the car dealership.
I know Burt Bacharach.
Look at me, Lou.
Did you just make Burt Bacharach Lou Bacharach? And like everyone was like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
The creator of the card game.
Yeah,
That guy.
As you made a guy named Lou Bacharach the most famous of Lou's.
Stugotz calls Hank Azaria Frank.
Yo, Stugotz.
How are you, Hank?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. We were discussing the Bruce Springsteen cover band that you have put together, and I'm wondering whose idea, like, how did that come to fruition here, Frank? Frank?
Frank. That's great.
I'm going to call you Frank for the rest of the time.
He looks like a Frank.
He does look like a Frank.
Well, Shroomgotts.
Juju Gotti calls Jonathan Zaslow Andrew.
I'm so happy to see we got a celebrity in the building today. One of the most popular celebrities, Andrew Zaslow. Oh, my God.
Whoa. That's why Andrew's atop that celebrity pick'em board.
You dig it? My bad. John, his close friends call him Andrew. Y'all call him Jonathan.
Dan Le Batard can't say subliminally.
I don't know what the Heat are going to sneak in there subliminally.
Good job.
Digestible.
God damn it.
I think Heat fans want
Greg Cody doesn't know Hollywood Brown.
You got to earn the nickname Hollywood, by the way. Come on. What's he done to earn that?
He was born in Hollywood,
He's from
Florida.
Hollywood, Florida.
Oh, okay.
From Hollywood.
All right. Dispensation. Go 954.
Greg Cody lived in Hollywood, Florida.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Hollywood
that's
Cody.
That's where I was born.
1440, Pebble Drive.
Hollywood Cody.
Yeah.
Dan Le Batard needs to restart the show.
Stop that. Stop that.
Juju, put it on the poll, please. Does the DNP? What
happened there?
Oh my God!
Juju, verbatim, every single word he said.
Oh my God!
Should we start over?
I think. Can we start over? Let's start again.
Tim Kirchin thought you could milk a male cow.
I'd milked one cow in my entire life. It was a disaster at Ferguson Farm when my daughter was in the 5th grade. And I said he, meaning the cow, was not interested in giving up a lot of milk. He, to which Buster started to scream at me. Guy grew up on a dairy farm. I didn't even know that it was only the females that give milk. Did you guys know that?
I didn't. Of course we did, Timmy.
Male cows are bulls.
Duh.
You were the cow at a moment.
I didn't know that.
The crew messes with Greg Cody about the noise from his computer.
Playing the old
That's
hits.
Greg Cody.
No,
That's
it
Greg
isn't.
Cody.
I saw you
know it
reach.
is. I know it is. It is. It's got to be.
You hit your computer there.
Vet me. If it's me, I will give you a $100 bill right now.
All right, Mike.
This is an AOL email, just for the record.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Wait a minute.
Knew it.
No.
So obvious. Of course. That's what I'm talking about.
That's impossible.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's the cord right here. It's loose.
That's what I'm talking about.
How does that make that noise?
Oh, there you go.
Wow. Wow.
No.
Greg.
No, somebody else is doing that in there.
Greg.
No, now this is gaslighting.
What?
How can they possibly do it in there?
Hold
It's
on.
happening in
Let
here.
me do it one
So
more time.
gaslighting.
Very unprofessional.
I didn't touch it.
Damn it.
And you saw that I didn't touch it.
Dan Le Batard runs out of words to say.
I can tell by looking at the teeth that's a tiger show.
Yeah, look at this killing machine. I've seen this video too because my algo is locked in on these man killers.
So what is this doing? Why is this doing this the way that it is doing it?
Well, because he's being tormented. Can you see how the guy is grabbing the thing's snout and he's trying to get the thing to bite?
Chris Cody can't talk on Mystery Crate.
Welcome back. Mike Fuentes thinks gas station. Why are you guys laughing? Can a man not speak? Wow, I mean, just a little misspeak. Is that funny to you guys? I mean, just...
Welcome to the whole
Welcome to Mystery Crate again.
Is this my 4th take doing this? Maybe.
Yeah.
Chris Cody screws up asking Pablo Torre a question.
Pablo, you and 3 other people. Your dream.
My mouth is watering.
Dream
Living or dead.
Your dream.
My mouth is watering.
Dream.
Dan Le Batard's voice changes.
This dude needs to shove this beefy 5-layer burrito up his butt.
This is not the
It needs to,
qualifier.
yes, it has to happen. It has to happen.
That's not what's going to make
We need integrity.
college football proof certified better than pro football.
Well, I know it won't help it if he just decides to not do this.
The irony is that on Saturday night around 2 a.m., I had one of those burritos coming out of my ass.
Is that the irony? I don't think you know what irony is.
Why did your voice? Did you just keister a 5-layer burrito because you haven't been eating? What happened there? How do you not hear it yourself? How do you not hear it and go?
Dan Le Batard says Kenny Mayne's documentary is on Fubu.
Okay, so 5 shooting days. You poured your heart into this documentary. It is on Fubu, 8 p.m. Eastern tonight.
Dan, you said the documentary airs on Fubu. That is a clothing line. Fubo is where the
I'm sorry.
airs.
That's my bad.
That's fine.
That's a totally different
Love that
thing.
dude on Shark Tank, though.
It's a great disseminator of sports content. It's also available through Roku and their other platforms.
After saying Joe Mauer isn't a first ballot Hall of Famer, Greg Cody learns he voted for him.
I have confirmed that my dad did vote for Joe Mauer in 2023.
On the first ballot?
Well, he got in on the first ballot, so that's the only ballot he was on.
Okay, but let me
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Here's a caveat here.
No, wait a minute. Just eat the L. What's the caveat?
I want to hear the caveat.
Wait a minute.
I want to hear.
I'll hear it. I'll allow the hearing of it, and it's fine. but before he gets to the caveat, can you just admit that you're wrong about your recollection?
Yeah, I was wrong. Sure.
Can you admit that you're wrong in having a Hall of Fame vote that you treat with so little regard that this is not an indictment of your memory, but it's an indictment in general of how it is that you do these things, that you don't actually care whether someone's first ballot or not because you can't remember whether you voted someone first ballot or not?
I cherish my Hall of Fame vote enough to have kept it for a long time, unlike yourself, who was stripped of his vote for malfeasance. Yeah. And in some cases, perhaps non-feasance.
For integrity.
Not wrong. Yeah, for integrity. Okay, that's what they call it.
Tomato, potato.
David Sampson tries to say croqueta.
Would you offer someone a caretta from a Jewish deli?
Croqueta?
Croqueta?
No,
Yeah.
that's not how
Did
you
call it a
said.
caretta?
That is not how you said croqueta.
Andrew Hawkins tries to sound cool with Keenan Thompson.
My parents start with A's, and all of our kids start with A's, and then some of their kids also all start with A's, and they think our family is strange for that.
No, I just think y'all are dedicated. That's all. Y'all dedicated to the A. I'm dedicated to the A, being from Atlanta, so I feel you.
Yeah, we both two up, two down, piece up, two down. Is that what it is?
No, you're from
I don't
Ohio.
know. Okay.
A-town. Oh man,
My bad. I'm still learning.
Two up, two down.
I don't know. All right, I got a question. Yeah, I don't.
Tony Kaladiud calls Dominique Foxworth a mean.
He's avoiding the balls.
Dominique is avoiding the matzo balls, which is the best
good
part.
stuff,
That's
dude.
the best part of the soup.
How's the soup a mean?
You're not gonna.
I mean, did you just call him a mean?
No.
Yeah, what?
He's an I mean.
Exactly. Thank you.
The soup.
He's also in our Panther chat.
The soup itself.
That was for sure in a mean.
It was not in a mean. It was I mean.
I need a replay.
Minor penalty. Stumbling.
How's the soup a mean?
You're not.
You want to admit when you're wrong? It's okay with me, pal. How's the soup a mean?
Why would you throw an
Dominique got it. How's the soup a mean?
You're not.
The soup I mean. This is a safe space for admitting when you made a mistake. How's the soup a mean?
You're not.
That's crazy.
I tried to have your back, dog.
Amin El Hassan tries to say, not my first rodeo.
Of all the players in the NBA who have had to guard Steph Curry this year, I think Thompson has done perhaps the best job. Yeah. He's just exact in terms of size, in terms of defense and IQ and all that stuff. But first time at the rodeo, and you know what happens at the first time at the rodeo, Stugotz? The bull rides the horns or some shit like that.
Nailed it.
That's what happened.
What was that?
His first rodeo. He's never been to his first rodeo.
How is that a way to dismount on the segment?
I've never been to a rodeo.
Greg Cody thinks he watched Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game that wasn't televised. I'm the only one in this room who was alive at the time. Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game. I was 7 years old.
You don't remember that.
In Hollywood, Florida at 1440, watching on a black and white Sylvania television set.
This is a great story here.
No,
because nobody believes that game happened.
It's a 100-point game, and it did happen.
I thought it was like famously not televised.
I don't think we have seen video proof of him scoring the 100, have we?
Yeah, it was. He held up a sign after the game.
No, but that's not the same. That's all.
I think there's a Mandela effect going on. Yeah.
Jessica,
there's no way.
Jessica, I think
You think that's a conspiracy
no,
theory?
I think it wasn't televised. I don't think there's a lot of video of that game. I think there's just like one grainy photograph or something.
I'm just telling you, I watched it on TV.
But
I don't trust
you
that.
couldn't have
That's
watched
a
it
big
on TV
giant-
if it
According
wasn't
to the
Pennsylvania.
Library of Congress, the amazing performance wasn't televised and there's no videotape of the game. Only a Philadelphia radio station broadcast.
You're full of it. You're just making that
fake
up.
memory.
Maybe it's a figment of my imagination.
No,
Now we're at like
4 days.
4 days of
just
traveling.
Yeah.
I have a week or whatever, a week and a half. Am I going to do that for 4 days at a place and then we're hotel swapping in the middle of it because like one hotel is crazy compared to the other? Like, no.
Yeah.
So that's when those things don't happen.
Correct.
That's coming up on Mystery Crate.
I mean, it's as good a promo as any.
It is.
Oh, is that the promo?
Yeah, might as well be. Because we did talk about the most exotic place Billy has been, how he used his friend's rich girlfriend's yacht to go to said place. And then we talked about his food pyramid. We built Billy's food pyramid.
We're still missing a couple notches.
We have some holes to fill.
Because the base can't just be Coke.
The base is chicken, rice, pizza, and potatoes.
What do you eat the most? Chicken and rice is like a staple.
I eat steak.
I eat
I eat
chicken
a
and
good amount of
rice.
steak.
Oh, look at you.
I eat a lot of red meat too.
money
And
bags over here.
I've been told by multiple doctors to not eat as much red meat as I
Really?
do. Yeah.
Oh, so red meat is part of the pyramid. Okay.
I'm trying to cut back on it.
So I'm going to put it to the one up.
Sure.
Okay. Red meat.
Yeah.
Watch Mystery Crate for the rest of Billy's food pyramid.
This is Juju. He's got a new show.
The alley-oop has returned.
It's about basketball, hoops, and hoopers.
I'm trying to get us away from calling him the Joker because the other nickname on his page is Big Honey. And I just think Big Honey is a way better nickname.
Subscribe to youtube.com/@DLS Hoops. Do you need me to point at some visual explanations? Well, here you go.
This episode is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
I'm a little bit worried about whether or not I'm going to have the stamina for this season because football arrived last night and there were more games than I was expecting. I got a bit jostled by the amount of games that were there. And then in the middle of it, you have a giant transaction. And now we head into a weekend of, insanity among college football games before we prepare for when Daddy gets home. And the thing that I wanted to not just skip past because we're going to get into the merriment of football soon enough. Did you see the report on Jim Irsay? Because it made me uncomfortable in a number of different ways. Jim Irsay obviously is gone. And the reports that were basically verified in the statement by the family after his death is that he was having a number of relapses, drug relapses, before he died. And it felt wrong to me to report that after his death, but it's not wrong to report that after his death. It just made me queasy and uncomfortable because he's already dead, and reporting sort of family embarrassments to me just land on the living. So I had an uncomfortable feeling with the reporting, but I can't really be mad about the reporting because these are what the facts are, and the family confirms it in the statement. But the thing that I wanted to ask you guys, because I don't think this is sort of known or talked about enough, the Colts were being run by a drug addict, like the entire time. And he was recovering, but he had an assortment of issues. I don't say that as disparagement. I do not say.
Well, it was just weird considering the preamble.
But I'm not saying, no, I want to actually discuss the difficult parts of this because the man in charge had a problem that often leaked out into public, but those weren't the only times there were the problems. And
so this gives you license now that it's out there to talk about it like this.
I'm going to talk about it through the honesty of what my feelings were as I received it. Jim Irsay, to me, I'm not judging the drug addiction. This is a plague. Like, we are addicted as Americans, and the globe's addicted to all sorts of things. But I wanted to have the conversation of what do you do or how do you do it when the man at the very top of the entire power chain has all manner of erratic behaviors that are tied up in what he admitted to while living was a constant drug and drinking problem because of wherever the addictions were, as someone who climbed through the organization with no real expertise other than he was a ball boy once, inherited everything, and then the top of the Colts was being run by somebody who had the instabilities that you would associate with addiction. And what I'm asking you is, what do you do when the power structure at the very top, like how does all that get managed in private? Never mind when it would spill out into public so we would all find out about it. How do you manage that as an organization, as a league, and everything else when the very top of your pyramid in power has a problem that he cannot correct?
I think they managed it pretty effectively. They won while he was there. To your earlier Jerry Jones point, Jim Irsay did it. Look, there are plenty of examples. Meadowlark should know well when someone at the top of the executive chain is dealing with something. You can do this effectively. You can be functional. You can be uber successful. And that's what the Indianapolis Colts were, by the way.
But it's not what Jim Irsay was, not in public. Jim Irsay had messes that you did not associate with any other NFL owner.
Well, what is the NFL owner's job? To increase the value of his franchise and have success on the field. And I understand there are other jobs that go there, run a good organization. I don't know anything about the inner workings of the Indianapolis Colts organization, but I also know there haven't been exposés on that franchise the way that they have been with others. So I think he was effective in his job, functional for the problems that he had. I'm sure this was a nightmare to deal with the family. And to your earlier point, I actually do think the media did a really good job in respecting the privacy because it was painfully obvious to everyone what happened there during the NBA Finals.
Oh, but it can be painfully obvious, and yet still we have not talked enough about an NFL team was being run the entire time by somebody who could not manage an addiction. And I say that not at all as a disparagement. I really don't. When I say drug addict, I'm just stating a matter of facts that the family would tell you about Jim Irsay. I just can't imagine. I will not identify this as functional drug addiction. Like he had a problem that ended up in all manner of headlines, and I just can't imagine how much they kept out of the headlines.
I don't think there's anything special about the Indianapolis Colts situation. I look at what's going on with X and Tesla. You can be effective in making money and securing government contracts and have a noticeable problem, and I would say maybe it's not always noticeable. When you look at addiction numbers with the very top line wealthy, it probably stands to reason that there are other owners dealing with similar problems, not just in their family, but they themselves, that have been able to keep it private, and no one ever has any suspicion because we're none the wiser because the train keeps moving along.
I would be really curious, though, okay, and let me make it just slightly more personal because I have told you before that the nightmare of my brother's last few years had some stuff in it that I simply didn't recognize, okay? So lest you think I'm just raining down judgment on the dead, I'm telling you that I had the emotional reaction to that headline of like, ooh, don't love that for the family, having all that in public. Because I remember standing in like 2 o'clock in the morning, the police all around me and being like, I hope this doesn't end up in public because I'm like, that would be terrible. And I just was wondering, I legitimately was asking the question of the audience because I don't think it's thought about. What do you imagine the practical difficulties were of having somebody in charge of your organization at the very top of power who had a problem that he could not control that ended up in all manner of family pain and recklessness? I can't imagine. Like Peyton Manning was covering up a lot of stuff there. But Bill Polian must have been covering. I'm not saying covering up crimes. I'm saying covering up problems because it seems to me practically very hard to have that being doing the decision making when it can't be trusted to not be erratic.
I don't feel like I have enough information on what the dynamic was in terms of decision making. Yes, he's at the very top of the chain, but he also empowered other people to make decisions too, and I don't know what they ran into. It was very clear from erratic behavior and what's been reported out there. This was not easy to deal with, certainly for his family. I'm sure some of that bled over professionally. The Indianapolis Colts organization seemed to have navigated it pretty well from everything that I can tell.
All right, let me segue into something else here that has to do with how things are kept public and private when you are wildly famous. Okay, let's make this about Michael Jordan and a story that's not being covered very much presently. And I figured that all things that got you real Michael Jordan honesty, I figured that would be big news in this day and age, but evidently not if it's in NASCAR. Like, you think The Last Dance showed you Michael Jordan's real personality? NASCAR lawsuit, you might see a little more of Michael Jordan's personality. I can make the argument that what Mike Ryan is about to read here has more real and honest Michael Jordan than we've seen just about anywhere outside of his Hall of Fame speech, when he just sat over the microphone and spit at everyone in the crowd that he wasn't that happy and he'd annihilate them all over again if he could.
If we were to guess some of the most powerful people in sports, people would certainly guess Michael Jordan before the Franz family that runs NASCAR. However, Michael Jordan has repeatedly run into L after L after L after L in the courts, challenging the Franz family, NASCAR, and their charter system. For the uninitiated, charters and NASCAR are essentially franchise fees. You have a big buy-in at the start of the season to allow yourself to basically bypass qualification and be guaranteed slots in every race. They don't hand them out to everybody. There are plenty of race teams that still have to earn their keep and earn these charters.
Mike, if I can just stop you for a second. Tony, can you get the gearhead, please? Because we never talk this much NASCAR without having, properly adorned accompaniments, because we're a big, network and all that.
The argument that Front Row Motorsports and 2311, the racing team co-owned by Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin and some other investors, would argue is this is really unfair. The revenue split is not justified. And now NASCAR would say out of the other side of their mouth, what? We have a 50-50 revenue split for the available revenue. While that is true, the bulk of the revenue that NASCAR gets goes to the tracks, and NASCAR owns many of the tracks, especially the big moneymakers. And Penske owns a massive track, so you're never going to get them to cross one of the picket lines. And that was the trouble that Michael Jordan, of all people, ran into. He could not get buy-in from Hendrick Motorsports, Joe Gibbs Racing, Penske, because the current dynamic with the Franz family works for those legacy motor clubs.
You're having trouble with the hat. You're having trouble with the helmet.
Well,
it's the headphones underneath. Yeah, it's tough.
Really can you read some of the stuff that is being alleged in lawsuits?
So private text messages came out. And you have to keep in mind here, Denny Hamlin is in an awkward situation. He co-owns 2311, but he races for Joe Gibbs Racing. And Michael Jordan is really upset that Joe Gibbs decided to not join him in this fight, because the only shot that they have against the Franz family that runs NASCAR is all the teams holding the line. And that line quickly got broken. So, Jordan, this was a private text message. Gibbs signed with NASCAR in their charter agreement. Fuckers! Teams are going to regret not supporting us. Pussies! And then he likened the losses that he had in this lawsuit and with NASCAR to casino-level losses. So Michael Jordan is here playing a game now. And you have competitor Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin in the very awkward situation, who's been pretty public about his dislike for NASCAR, is employed by the guy that he co-owns his business with, but like he's employed by Joe Gibbs Racing, and his co-owner is calling him a fucker.
Okay, but there's better. You skipped over Michael Jordan's text saying, "I've lost that in a casino."
No, I didn't. Steve Martin also.
No, I'm saying I know you said it, but I want the context for it when we're talking about the amount of money, because yes, he said that, but I don't think people know the amount of money that you're talking about when he says, "I've lost that in a casino."
I've lost that on the financial risk of hiring a driver. I've lost that in a casino. Let's do it. Also adding, this is just a hobby. I can only play so much golf. And the internal text that leaked from NASCAR liken it to, let's get back to the old days, good old redneck racing. This is an ugly, ugly fight, and the Franz family is very well politically connected. They make some of the largest political contributions there is. So Michael Jordan is actually running up against real power. Michael Jordan, famously not political, made a big deal of the one political type of donation that he made. He's running into people that have the stroke politically, and he is catching L after L. And NASCAR loved having Michael Jordan in the family, brought extra eyes. Didn't think that they would run into somebody with bleep you money and a bleep you attitude, and it still hasn't mattered because NASCAR keeps winning.
I wish, though, that we got some honest look. Wright Thompson has written some stories, but at Michael Jordan, how he feels about the fact that once he got to power, like real power, like Tom Brady has now and stuff, that all he did was lose. Like, he won money. Like, however it is you do the measurements, I don't think he's doing the measurements the same way we're doing the measurements. Like, he wants to win money, but he just is addicted to winning. We were talking about before the idea of the gambling, competitiveness. Michael Jordan, however it is that he's trying to fill whatever it is that it was being Michael Jordan, would be fighting with others over money, but always losing? Like, because since he left the power of having the power on the court, I told you, he had to pack up his boxes and was an employee at the end. Abe Pollin, one of the worst basketball owners in the league. Get the bleep out of here. I profited off of your last tour. Get out of here. Has taken nothing but losses from owners since in every way. Has no meaningful ownership win as Tom Brady now gets into the game to fight on. No, I'd like to compete up here too with Peyton Manning on what ownership looks like.
He crossed the threshold of having bleep you money that he can lose money, not really feel it.
Yeah.
Ever. And so he's here for the fight. And it's actually pretty funny because Michael Jordan doesn't really want to show us a lot of his personality. The competitor and the joy in competing comes out in NASCAR. It doesn't come out in any of his other interviews since he played. Even when he played, he wasn't this emotional. When Bubba Wallace won at the Brickyard, Michael Jordan was elated because there was a run where Denny won, where Bubba won, where they were winning after all these things became public in this lawsuit, and he's going to keep trying. They're actively competing in this season, and it'd be great. They have two playoff drivers in Tyler Reddick and Bubba Wallace. And if Denny Hamlin wins, that's also a big bleep you to the system. They're doing this as a bleep you, not even to make money because they understand they're not going to win money. They're doing this to compete and go up against the power, and it's pretty cool for Michael Jordan at this stage in his life to be an underdog.
Those private texts are the most I've heard from Michael Jordan in a decade, right? Like, he said F'ers and the P word. I'm like, oh, there's Michael Jordan.
Until
okay.
this year.
What the hell is he going to say on NBA?
I like the idea of him like throwing down his phone after he texts that, and his wife from Kendall looks at him and is like, what's wrong, sweetie? He's like, NASCAR. And then they go out on the yacht and they just jump back into the ocean and live their luxurious lives again. And forget about it 5 minutes later.
He's right about that. She is from Kendall.
I know that he's probably right about most of that, but I remember thinking to myself, as I've told you guys, that when you've been a symbol for youth and vitality, it must be hard to just age, right? Like, as he has been. Just whatever he feels like at 60, when he was the symbol on earth for youth and vitality, when you're always a winner, and you're addicted to competition, I wonder if jumping off of that yacht into the ocean, Michael Jordan still feels like a winner when he loses in every boardroom. Like, I understand.
I think he's fine. I think he's doing just fine. He turns around and looks at his wife, goes to his own private golf course where drones deliver your food, and he's like, yeah, I'm good.
It may be ridiculous to say, and I would love to ask him, but given that he's been
I don't think we're going to get the chance.
He's so separated from the 2 3-peats, right? He's run into real adversity here in NASCAR. I think he might admit, given his passion for the sport, which it seems from the interviews he's given, he likes NASCAR more than he likes basketball. If he wins this Cup championship this year, I think he may say this is the most rewarding achievement I've ever had in sports.
That's insane.
Because a France family is trying Michael Jordan in ways that he hasn't been tried. And again, he's been chasing that since the 90s. He hasn't been winning. In fact, everything he's done outside of the shoe business, but in sports, has largely been viewed as an embarrassment. The comeback with the Wizards, he missed the playoffs. The ownership with Charlotte, disastrous. Didn't make nearly enough money when you see these valuations for other
I wonder how much he doubts himself somewhere inside of all of this, because it's kind of why I was asking you what I was asking you the other day about Andrew Luck, because people think that some people just have it figured out because they got money and power. And then all of a sudden they're walking into boardrooms all over the place and, oh, my God, I'm getting my ass kicked everywhere. I'd be curious for an honest answer on where do you have doubt over the last 20 years on, like, I don't really belong here. I've got a bit of imposter syndrome.
I would love for our guest bookers to try to have a go at Denny Hamlin. Now, there's certain things that he can't say because this is presently tied up in litigation, but Denny doesn't really pull punches. He has his own podcast. He's supremely outspoken. And he has to be political and navigating. He's part of the old guard with Joe Gibbs racing for another team, but understands the underdog nature of trying to be one of the other teams. There's talk that they would take on private equity and try to secure other racetracks to come up with a circuit that competes with NASCAR. NASCAR is a big-time television property, huge, dwarfs the size of the contract that Formula One just got with Netflix or Apple. I'm sorry, they're really big and they are really politically plugged in. This would be a massive upset, and again, just fascinating to see Michael Jordan at this stage in his career go up against so much adversity, be at the bottom of a mountain, and try to win an underdog battle.
I am ashamed of myself for going this far into the show without mentioning that Kyle Schwarber hit 4 home runs last night. I feel like we should just stop whatever it is that we're doing whenever that happens and just sort of genuflect as a show. You know, square guy hits 4 home runs in a night. We should treat it with more respect than talking about this stuff before we get to that. But that's enough about that, because I've got to get to the boldest take here, and there's a lot of show we're going to stuff here into the last 13 minutes of what we're doing here. So let's go to boldest take first here. Are these calls getting any better? Because it has not been consistent. I'm not feeling good about
good.
They are 9% good. They're 9% good.
I think it's 24% good.
91% bad.
The boldest take is presented by Boost Mobile, the newest 5G network in the country.
I've been a fan for a long time, but Dan, my hot take is you were so far out of line with what you did to Greg Cody, stealing his laptop and pushing the man, that if he went full Chris Everett on you, I would have been just fine. Jim Rome learned. You need some smoke sometimes, Dan. That was too far.
They're clearly purple. So why do we call them red onions?
Hey, this is Chris in the Panhandle on a tin can with string. Peeing in the pool is the perfect crime.
Wembenyama and Iguodala, Wembenyama and Iguodala, Wembenyama and Iguodala. What's the worst part of the laugh?
I'm Dan. This wasn't very funny.
Hey, this is Mark on a sat phone. David Sampson looks like the kid you had to have a play date with after his mother called your mother.
That was a good impression of you, Dan.
96% bad on that particular batch, and I'm giving you generosity with the 4% good. The Cody draft last night, the much talked about, much threatened Cody draft. I cannot tell you that we will have a funnier moment this month than Greg Cody becoming enraged with us because we were going to leak that his rankings of the Dolphins this season were 14 instead of 17. The amount of content that we got out of his rage, the fact that your father, a man of words, a man who's made his living on words, cannot express to you the indignance and seriousness of the most serious things in his life without saying it's going to be his life, it's going to be his granddaughter's life, and it's going to be he's going to take away the draft. That the greatest punishment that he can rain down upon you as you're looking at him and saying, this threat doesn't mean anything. Like, I can go and I can do the draft at someone else's house. Your threat.
Oh, I got to go to Twin Peaks now.
Chris, like, he was yelling at you as if he thought it was the greatest of threats that he could hit you with, and it was an empty. Only he cares about it that way. You don't care about it that way.
Right. There were 4 other houses we could have had it at. We could have gone to a bar. It was not the threat he thought it was. But last night, we had the draft. The running joke last night was my dad not knowing what position anyone plays in a sport that he covers. Like, a guy will be drafted. David Njoku, a tight end. He'll just be like, he's looking to cross off his list, and he has it by position. So he's always like, what position is he?
He won't like that from you. He's an expert, and he won't like that you just did that to him.
That was an undercut.
It
was a running joke. It's like everyone's like, he's asked Drake May.
You're saying you're beginning the football season by accusing your dad of faking knowledge about football.
It's not that he's even faking. I think he knows what position a lot of these guys play, but he just gets into this mode of, I'm not thinking about the NFL. I'm looking at a list of names, and I need to know where to look. Like, his brain turns off from what I actually know about football, and it just goes to, I don't see him what position, and Joe, like, he gets panicked. And it's like, David Njoku, think for a second. You know who this guy is. He's a tight end, Dad.
I would classify him as weapon. My mind is also geared towards the NFL, Chris, especially that Week 4 matchup between the Packers and the Cowboys. We talked a lot about what this means for the Cowboys. We haven't talked at all about what this means for the Packers, and I'm sitting pretty on a ticket that had the Packers as NFC champions, and I'm pretty happy about that. You may want tickets to that Week 4 showdown between Green Bay and Dallas. Why don't you take the guesswork out of buying NFL tickets with Game Time? Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use a code DAN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Swipe, tap, ticket, go.
A little detail from this Micah Parsons extension with the Packers. 136 guaranteed. That was kind of not that surprising. 120 at signing. That's great. Is he literally just going to get a wire for $120 million? Oh,
Dan, how's that work? They just wire you the money?
Well, they'll take the taxes out of it. I don't think that guaranteed money gets there as guaranteed. I think it runs through a system of they start tracking it immediately on that stuff.
That's the most I've ever seen in terms of like right at the front. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't think I've. Let me run a Google. I don't think I've seen that much money as a signing.
So do they like? Is it like an HOA for the Packers since they're like owned by everybody? So like like we're gonna finish the parking lot. Now we're gonna need $40,000 from everyone. It's like, oh guys, Micah Parsons, $120 million. We're gonna need about $7 million from each of you now. And think it's cute being team owner. Time to cash in.
I don't know how any of that works, but I really would like an understanding of how it's any different.
Like
for
game
the
one, there's a
Packers.
collection basket going around. Like Lambeau, feel like, oh, it's made it up.
Do you think most people know? Do you think most people listening to this know that the Packers are owned by the surrounding community? Like, do you think the majority of people listening to this know this?
Like my dad is a quote unquote owner of a horse, and he yearly has to send in like $500 to throw for medical stuff. So
It's not that. I know it's not that with the Packers, but I'd actually be curious. No, it might not be.
We should get the Packers owner on and ask them. It's literally one of like 80,000 people we could talk to. You know a Packers owner?
I know a Packers owner.
Can you get him on in 6 minutes?
Poner.
Let me ask Lewis.
There's like thousands of Packers owners. Vlad Guerrero Jr. got a $325 million signing bonus. Wow.
So does he play for free?
Yeah, how does that work? Well, I don't know. Is the signing bonus is extra, right? Is this deferred?
No, what do you mean the signing bonus is extra? No, you sign, you get that money. You get that again though, I believe that goes through a transaction state where the government does take it before wherever it is. Like whatever you think, that signing bonus isn't going to end up being $120 million that's not taxable.
Prior to this, the biggest record signing bonus in NFL history was a Packers teammate of Micah Parsons. Jordan Love got $75 million.
As a signing bonus, it's a bonus. So it's not for work that you've completed, right? So, like, let's say, you go to, like, the BVI to sign your signing bonus. What's to say if it just all of a sudden ends up, at a P.O. box or whatever,
Caymans.
Yeah.
Billy, how do you imagine this would all work since you're hypothesizing that we can move 120 mil quietly? No, but since I know
people move 120 mil like this all the time.
Marlins used to be registered at a P.O. box. Andy Slater scooped us on that.
That's right. Look at the $1.1 billion in wire transfers, please.
Mike Ryan mentioned the idea of analyzing this from the Packers side of this. But, Chris, was there anything else from your father's draft last night worth recapping? I'm sure our audience wants any information that is worth having on the Lobos and the Greg Cody family extravaganza that he cares so much about that he puts it in the same place that he puts his life, your daughter's life, and
you don't have to keep mentioning that.
I mean, but that's the priority, in your dad's life. So what came from last night that was worth talking about?
I would say, I'm getting told in my ear that we can have a Green Bay owner on the phone in 2 minutes if we want. But I would say outside of his lack of knowledge being a running joke, just the way he announces every pick. The Lobos would welcome to the team. Most people just say a name. Like Terry McLaurin, but my dad is, the Lobos, welcome to the family.
I heard behind you here, Billy.
I like that.
Now, Billy, you're Billy. You just did. I heard you say, do we want that? Now that we got the Packers owner on the line, and you're the one who said, let's get a Packers owner on the line. Like, you're the one who said.
He wants it. I provided,
I
Dan.
know, but this is the Billy conundrum.
Earlier this week, he said he didn't want to be married to takes.
Yeah.
Doesn't do
The
consequences.
bad ones.
But he doesn't do consequences, but he says, I'm the friend who just says shit when he told Tony, get a Packers owner.
You just say, oh, we should get a Packers owner
I got
on,
one
and then
for
it
you.
goes off, you know.
But I
to
told
where
you, I
everything
always got a
else goes.
guy. You always say, oh, you don't have a guy. I got a guy. What do you want? You want that? I got you here.
So are we going to talk to Lewis's friend?
That
My
is the
friend, too.
moving that you just almost literally moved the goalpost. Like you're what you're saying. Your words have stopped meaning anything when you go from saying, Tony, get a Packers owner, we get him in 2 minutes, and then the next thing I hear behind Chris Cody is, do we even want that? You're helping produce the show. You produce those 2 minutes, and then I get those 2 minutes. Tony produces the show, and you're like, I don't want it that way.
I'm just saying, do we want
Lewis has confirmed in my ear he's an actual owner.
Okay, so great. Bring him on the air. But for the record, I said, should we do this?
I don't want.
Well, you're the one pushing for this guy now.
I don't want to talk
You
to
want to
one
talk
of
to
these.
Pep or whatever his name is.
His name is Anthony.
No,
Anthony.
I want to know how it.
Friends call him Pepe.
I want to know how it really works to own the Packers, but this person's not going to know.
He's a sweetheart.
He's
been
not
told.
sending in a bunch of money. He's not going to have any answers to any good questions.
Dan, he's got a plaque that says he's an owner.
He's a quack? So you said?
Oh, that's you. I said he's got a plaque.
All right, so which would you guys prefer here? I'm going to do Fridays throughout the football season. Which would you prefer here? You guys make the decision because I don't want to kill the vibe around here.
Well, just an update. Cam Newton is indeed wearing a poncho.
Oh. Were there half times in the draft yesterday?
No, that's another thing.
Oh.
I stopped that.
Would you prefer 2 minutes of us breaking down this Micah Parsons trade from the Packers
Michael
perspective?
Parson.
We've really normalized how Cam Newton looks. It's ridiculous.
Or would you prefer to put on Lewis's friend, possibly Pepe, to ask him to get a Packers owner?
Us landing an owner. I mean, that's
a Packers
that is big.
Okay.
Big
day
gap
after
for
the
us.
trade.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys go
Packers
ahead.
owner Anthony joins the show to break down the big trade.
All right. I will be back. Fine. You guys break.
How do you feel about
Michael Parsons?
Go ahead. All right. Get him on. Who is fine? Instead of breaking down the trade from the Packers' perspective,
Michael Parsons.
you guys want to talk to one of the they're more than 80,000 Packers.
not
owners.
undercut it?
They're more than.
I got him in a second, Dan. Here you go. You ready? You got. I got him. I got a Packers owner on the line.
Tony, all right. So
He's
find
ready.
out how this.
All right.
Find
Dan,
out how
thank
the
you, Dan. I
signing
got
bonus
it. Thank you,
works.
Dan. All right. Tuero, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Anthony Tuero. He's a Packers owner right now. Very excited. Obviously, he's got the cheese head going. He's got the 12 jersey, which is an interesting choice. But the point being, now you're the proud, I wouldn't say owner, but you have Micah Parsons on your team as the owner of the Packers. How do you feel?
Michael Parsons.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I mean, Super Bowl, right? Like we have to be up there with the Super Bowl favorites. I mean, we jumped to the top of the NFC North. The Lions are no longer the ones that they're expecting to win the division. Now it's us. So we're Super Bowl bound. I mean, come on.
Anthony, I have a question. What was it like dealing with Jerry Jones to make this trade happen?
It was rough, guys. It was rough. If you heard what he told Michael Parsons, telling him, hey, it's either a fifth-year option or you leave, you're done. I mean, it was very difficult dealing with a guy like Jerry Jones. Let me tell you.
Tuero, get the plaque that you have there that says you're a Packers owner. Where is it?
That's actually at my shop, at my business. And
I don't
I'm
have
not
any
there
proof.
today,
I
so-
just got a guy in a Packers jersey with cheese on his head. I don't have
You
any,
have a second job?
I don't have a proof that this guy's an owner.
Come on, man. Shareholder since 2019.
What does that mean?
I made this happen.
What's it cost you
What
per
does
year?
it mean? What does that mean?
So it literally means that I can just say I'm a shareholder. That's all it says.
So
That's
do you have
all
to?
I can do with it.
Do you have to
Can't
pitch?
do anything else with it.
You have to pitch in money for the $120 million signing bonus.
So I pitched in $385.
See?
Wow.
Dan?
Yep, it's a tithe. Exactly. That's what it was.
So how
Yep,
does that
pretty much.
work? What is that? What is that money?
So that was basically So to buy in, to get one share, it was like $3.30 plus tax and fees or whatever. And then we get no dividends. We get nothing. I get to be a part of the shareholders meeting though every year. That's pretty cool.
Big call, right?
It's a very big call.
You ever
Very
speak
big
up?
call.
You ever speak up in there?
I was the one that told Brian, "Hey, Brian, let's go get this guy, man." And he listened. He listened.
Congratulations.
This is going to make news.
Congratulations. We're very happy for you. It's such power.
guys.
It's
What a get.
It's so great to have the fans have this power where they can just say, hey, get me Micah Parsons. And then
But they got him.
Well, not fan. He's part
He
of
told
the
Brian.
minority
Get
owner.
him.
Your thoughts on Jim Irsay?
Thank you, Anthony.
All right, see you later, buddy.
All right, guys.
Michael Parsons